Because it is our goal to perma-win, and we win by our very existence. As a man, you win by your very existence. I can do something as simple as put on a Santa hat and lift weights, and millions of people around the world will share it. Some will hate on me and attack me for training. Some will be motivated by it. I can do the mundane and capture the entire world's attention. That is the difference between a winner and a loser. A winner can breathe and people will have an opinion about it. A loser is trying very hard to be relevant. And it is your job to win as much as possible. And I'm going to make sure none of you are falling for a very obvious and simple trap. And that trap is the false idea of work and believing that anybody out there gives a shit about you as opposed to themselves. Because they don't. There are people who may be aligned with you, who may want to do certain things that you agree with to benefit them and you. But there are very few people who want to self-detriment to benefit you alone. Life is actually very simple because it's a one-move win. Imagine no matter what scenario you're in, you only had to do one thing. Imagine boxing, and no matter what attack he threw at you, no matter how big and strong he was, no matter how tired you were, you didn't have to do any fancy combination, you didn't have to do any kind of clever footwork, you only had to do one move and you instantly and endlessly 100% of the time won. And life is the same, and that thing is get rich. Why? Well, there's two reasons. Reason one is that wealth gives you power and allows you to move the needle, because most of you are not rich enough to move the needle in any significant way. And two, wealth also gives you the ability to build your own reality. Because this is the work trap we find ourselves falling into ever since Trump's victory. You believe Trump is coming to save you. You believe that the government is going to save you. You believe everything's going to be okay, when truthfully, you are wasting your time. Focusing all that energy on getting as rich as possible is more likely to change your experience than rage posting. And you know this, but what you're trying to do is satisfy the part of your soul which is telling you you have to work and you have to resist enslavement. The easiest place to see this is with Bitcoin. Everyone loves Bitcoin, everybody believes in Bitcoin. Federal Reserve, they print too much money, Bitcoin's going to the moon. I get it. But why are you watching videos about Bitcoin and researching Bitcoin instead of earning money to buy more Bitcoin? It's binary. You either believe in Bitcoin or you don't. And if you do believe in Bitcoin, the most prudent and intelligent spend of your time is to work as hard as possible to acquire as much as possible before the price becomes prohibitive. To sit there with 0.3 Bitcoin, to believe that Bitcoin's going to go up, and then to watch Bitcoin videos and watch Hopium and research how the blockchain works with no intention of actually programming the blockchain in any way is a mistake. And it is a trick and a trap you are falling for, because you believe by doing that, you are somehow working towards the end goal. And you're not. You're attracted to Bitcoin because you can buy and forget. The reason Bitcoin's so attractive to people isn't because of the Federal Reserve. Nobody gives a shit about the Fed and inflation if they were rich. You wouldn't be upset by the Fed, inflation, interest rates, fiat currency. None of those things would bother you at all if you were as rich as me. I don't give a shit because I'm rich. You give a shit because you're not. So you're sitting there researching Bitcoin and you think that you're interested in Bitcoin because you are furious at the Federal Reserve. That's all. You love Bitcoin because it's offering you the lazy man's dream. Buy some of me and do nothing. It is the dream of every person alive to park some money, ignore it, and with no work have more money, because that's nearly impossible to do. If you want to start a rental property portfolio, you have to work. There's taxes, there's legal, there's cleaning, there's maintenance, there's finding tenants, there's work. Bitcoin is very lazy, so you buy it, You do nothing and you're told you're going to be a millionaire one day. That satisfies part of your heart. That's a perfect scenario. But then you have this time on your hands and you're sitting there thinking, well, Bitcoin's going to make me a millionaire and I want it to happen now. So what do I do? What you start doing is reading about Bitcoin, tweeting about Bitcoin, posting about Bitcoin, watching all the hopium, looking up random YouTubers for their Bitcoin predictions, listening to Michael Saylor. All of these things you are doing because you are trying to expedite. You're trying to speed up the pace at which Bitcoin saves you from your miserable life. But it is a mistake because doing all of that doesn't change anything. I know you could argue that the collective energy of enough people understanding Bitcoin and tweeting about it moves the needle. That is true. But if I were to say to you, spend the next 100 hours reading and watching Bitcoin videos, or the next 100 hours working, earning money, and buying Bitcoin, which one do you think would put you in a position where you could retire sooner? It would be from working and purchasing, but you're trying to avoid the work. This is so important, guys, that you find yourself in these political arguments, you find yourself watching Bitcoin videos, you find yourself locking in to do absolutely unproductive things, because the only thing that's productive in all scenarios is earning money. You can do whatever you want if you're rich. If you're not, you're in a far more difficult position. And the great thing about this mindset is most people don't have it. It is important that people tweet about Bitcoin. It is important that people complain about certain things online and make it clear that they're unhappy with how their politicians plan to run the country. But if you bow down and you get rich, the rest will do it for you. It's fine. Let them do the heavy lifting. Let them sit there and rage post and get mad and lose sleep and watch videos and do all that while you stack cash. And I guarantee you, that's how you're gonna win. And I only care how my fans win. So after I decided Bitcoin was a thing, I've never watched a video on it again. I've decided Bitcoin's going to the moon. That's my decision. I ask a lot of people what they're doing. They say, locking in, bro. And their version of locking in is just watching podcasts for hope, rage posting on Twitter for hope. It is best for you to assume that you're f***ed. It's best for you to assume that Trump and Elon are not going to do any of the things you want them to do, no matter how much you tweeted them. It is best for you to assume that Bitcoin is still going to be around the same price 10 years from now. It is best for you to assume that the prices will continue to spiral out of control, that the crime and the drugs will continue to spiral out of control. That is the best mental model for you to have. Because in that scenario, under that mental model, I can say to you, what the f*** are you going to do about it? And the only answer is work. Hope can destroy you. You're at the bottom of a well, and to save your manicure, you're praying someone's going to throw a rope down or a ladder because you don't want to scale the slimy walls and crawl out to salvation because of how difficult it's going to be. And you're sitting at the bottom thinking, a ladder's coming soon. I heard this rumor of this guy who has a ladder and he randomly puts it down wells. And maybe he'll choose my one. So if I just sit around and wait, that is the wrong mentality. It will soon be nightfall. You will freeze. It will begin to rain and you will drown. You don't have time. If the man with the ladder is coming, then you're good anyway. If Trump and Elon fix the country, you're good. If Bitcoin goes to 10 million and your 0.1 finally becomes worth something, you're good. If the ladder comes down the well when you're halfway up the wall, you're great. But you should begin to climb anyway. It is win-win. The only thing stopping you is the trap of believing you're doing something by praying for the ladder man and laziness. It is amazing how people were motivated under Kamala because they understood that an oppressive regime was out with the intention of enslaving the modern man. And then Trump won, and they let their foot off the gas. Like, it's okay now. They're not going to make us slaves anymore. Now Elon talks about visas. He's reminding all of you that this is a brutal dog world, and that those who can do the job the best for the lowest pay are the ones who will have the jobs. And nobody's coming to save you. Your hopium that you are enjoying, your dreams of Trump's back in charge, economy's going to be back, we'll all be rich, Bitcoin's going to... All that was shattered when he made it clear to you that an Indian will do your job for half the money. And now you're pissed. Why am I not pissed? Well, because I have money. And that's the beautiful thing about life, because the answer is nearly always the same. Get rich, ignore the noise. Buckle down, ignore the noise. Lock in, focus, do important shit, ignore the noise. And make sure you're doing things that actually matter. Because there's a huge work trap that's been set up. You're not working as hard as you think you are if you're watching podcasts which are giving you hope that you've already done enough work. That's what you're doing. You're hoping someone is going to say to you that you've already done enough, and that 0.1 Bitcoin is fine, and Trump is going to fix it all, and it's all fine. Nothing is fine. You need to crawl out of that well with your fingernails. You need to scratch your face on hard stone. You need to get out of there like a man. Even if the ladder comes. After you climbed out of the well, you bought yourself time. Now you're ahead of the game. Yes, you could have waited and had an easier way out. But think of how much time you saved by crawling out before the ladder man got round to you. This is extremely important. It's extremely important. Have you ever seen something that just feels too good to be true? You know when people were saying, Bitcoin halving plus the ETF, it's going to 1 million. And I'm sitting there thinking, that's too easy. No way. And then the Bitcoin halving comes, and then the ETF comes, and the price doesn't even move. That's life. What should happen, what you're hoping for, it never comes true. Most of you are so addicted to the trap that I've been describing, that if you lived in the exact same city, doing the exact same things, seeing the exact same people, and there was a tweet that said that immigration had doubled, you'd be furious. And then if you were in the exact same city, seeing the exact same people, doing the exact same things, and there was a tweet that said immigration had halved, you'd be happy. But your reality hasn't changed. Your idea, your perception, your hopes, your dreams, your ideals, what you believe, sure. But your reality hasn't even changed. Most of the reason you're so unhappy with these certain things is because you're poor anyway. There's not a single rich person who would say, I won't move to Dubai. Too many Arabs. Nobody cares then, because everyone's loaded. It's a class war anyway. So I understand the concerns, but when people are inboxing me saying, what do you think, what do you think, what do you think? I think you should get rich. That's what I think. I think you should double down and focus. And these days are the most wasted days. These are the most wasted days of the year. Between Christmas and New Year, 6 days. 1.6% of the year is wasted. And it is the first 1.6% of the year. Here we are. So now it's time, in between Christmas and New Year, to make a plan for the following year. To make a battle plan, which you're going to stick to. And I feel like all of you waiting for something monumental to happen is not going to happen. Bitcoin's not going to 1 million next year. It would be too easy if it did. If it does, great. Tate was wrong. Fine. But it would be too easy. Has your life ever been that easy? Have you ever woke up and not tried and oops, I was rich. Oops, Bitcoin just went to 1 million. It doesn't work that way. Something's going to happen. There'll be some quantum computing. There'll be some confirmation that there won't be a strategic reserve. There'll be some mining problem. Who knows? It'll dump. And all of your dreams, you'll be sitting there in March or July, halfway through the year, after spending 6 months watching Bitcoin podcasts, looking at your portfolio lower than it was in 2024, depressed. Life's never easy, guys. The easy way out doesn't exist. There's only one way out. through the thorns, through the pain. It's the only way it's ever been. It's the only way it's ever gonna be. So why do I put emphasis on focusing to get rich? You should be as rich and as strong as possible because you're a full-grown man. And full-grown men need to be able to influence the world. It's kind of amazing to me that many of you wake up and nobody cares when you talk. And that doesn't seem to bother you or inspire action out of you. If I wake up and I tweet something, people care. If I talk on an emergency meeting, people care. If I talk in my house, people care. If I talk to my woman, people care. If I talk to the mothers of my children, they care. My words matter. Most of you are going through life screaming into the void and nobody gives a what you say. How are you going to be a full-grown man? Nobody give a what you think or what you say and not feel shame. Shouldn't your goal for 2025 be to have a voice, at least? Assuming you care about the issues we just discussed, then surely you should want a voice. If you care so much about immigration or you care so much about Bitcoin or whatever else, you should want your voice to matter. How are you going to do that? You're going to continue to scream as a nobody, or you're going to become a somebody first? Your primary mission should be to be as rich and strong as possible, because these are measures of dedication. These are measures of competence. You know, Tristan and I had a conversation. We said, what would we do if crypto went to zero? Because probably 70% of our wealth is in crypto. Let's say we're worth 500 million. Keep numbers easy. 300 million is in crypto. So if crypto went to zero, what would we do? And I said, well, that would be fantastic. That would be great. Because now all the easy money's gone. And now all the kids get to run around in Lambos and show off and buy girls' handbags. All the easy gone. We're back to the hard world. We're back to the real world of real business, what we're best at. And we've got real estate portfolios, and we have gold, and we have stocks, and we have bonds and ETFs and cash, and we have all these other things. We don't just have crypto. Most crypto people only have 0.7 Bitcoin. That's it. That's their hope. That's their ticket. We have everything else. Even though I don't believe crypto's going to zero, it would actually be better for us if it did, because there'd be less people flexing money. We'd be the only rich people left. It'd be great if Bitcoin went to zero. We're perfectly prepared to do the hard work. If it was a race, if we were all at the bottom of the well, 10 different people in 10 different wells, and I could have a friend of mine assassinate the man with the ladders before he got round to any of us. That's exactly what I'd do. I'd put a faggot on the roof and I'd snipe him so that it became a competition of brutal will. Because then I know I'll get out first. Because I know I'll scale that wall faster than anybody else. I don't want there to be ladders. You're praying for a ladder. I don't want them. I don't want easy wins. I don't want crypto to go up. I don't want Trump to fix anything. I want it to stay a fucking mess. I want to have to wake up every day and grind out and become richer than everyone else because I work harder than everyone else and I try harder than everyone else. I don't want any easy ways out. The idea of that aggravates me. I don't want to feel motivated. I want to feel tired and stressed. I want to run on pure discipline and adrenaline. Nobody is motivated at 4 in the morning. Nobody. But some people are up anyway. You're praying for an easy way out. I don't want one. Because if there is an easy way out, yeah, I'll win. But other people will win who I don't think deserve to win. Luckily, in my experience on this earth, the universe has never, I've ever seen, ever given an easy way out to anybody. So I don't believe it's fucking coming. And most of you seem to believe something fantastic is coming next year. And I would argue that it's not. Bunch of people are going to get laid off. Bunch of extra spending is going to be removed. Bitcoin might go up a bit, but you don't have enough. You need at least 50 Bitcoin. You ain't got it. Now's your time to earn and work and buy them before they go up. You haven't done it. If your predictions are true, if you really believe, because of all the podcasts you've read, that Bitcoin's going to 1 million, you still don't have enough. Do you understand? That's not a reason to rest. That's not a reason to wait. That's not a reason to do less work. That's a reason to work harder, because you could turn your 0.3 into 0.5. You could turn your 2 into 20, because by the time it goes up, then you won't be able to. So even if you were right, that's even more argument for the same thing. It doesn't matter if you go left or right, you need to make money. It doesn't matter if you go up or down, you need to make money. It doesn't matter if it's hot or fucking cold, you need to make money. It doesn't matter if you're happy or sad, you need to make money. It's the only way to leverage yourself in this economic game that none of us can possibly escape. What do you expect to happen here? And your version of locking in is finding copium. That's what you call work. Gentlemen, it's go time. It's go time like it's never been before. Either things are gonna go great and you need to get your ducks in a row now before they go too great, or things are gonna go wrong and you need to get your ducks in a row before they go wrong. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's fucking go time. And truthfully, the law of averages ensures that the majority of people are exactly that, average. If you're watching this, most of you are average. Most of you cannot be exceptional by virtue of the nature of exceptionalism. You may be exceptional amongst the general populace because you're all fans of mine, but measured against other fans of mine, the majority of you will be average. That's what it means. But that's fine, because you can win if you're average if you're first. You can win if you're average if you try harder than the rest. You can win if you're average if you pay attention. You can win if you're average if you do the right things, if you're not lazy. It's very easy to win if you're average. You just need to get another advantage. And the easiest advantage is I'm prepared to put in the work every day, show up, and I'm gonna start right now. I guarantee you results if you do that. Guarantee. This is the beauty of what I wanted to say to you. There's only one answer to all things. The answer is always the same. Doesn't matter what happens. What matters is you need money. I hate to be a ruthless capitalist, but I've lived my life and I've realized that I've never, ever been in a situation and regretted having loads of money. Ever. Whether I was in jail and I could pay for my mother and my children, whether I had legal problems and I could hire the best lawyers, whether I went driving and my car broke down and I could just abandon the car, I didn't care if it got stolen, it doesn't matter. There's never been a time in my life where having loads of money was bad. Ever. It's always an advantage. It's a cure-all. Same with strength. I've never thought, man, I'm too strong. Man, wish I wasn't so strong. That doesn't happen. These are the two things that you can never get enough of, which is why they're the two things you should be focused on. Because once you get enough, you get to observe the game from above. You get to watch the ants argue and scatter around, like I do. You get to jump in and out to troll people, to be funny, but none of it really matters. And you can have your own personal view on society and your personal view on trying to save civilization. Absolutely, you should. But whether your personal view is enacted and you win, or your personal view is refuted and you lose, either one of those scenarios would be better if you had money. So I don't want you guys to be living on hopium. It is go time. Today is go time. Right now is go time. There's absolutely no other time for you to go but now. You either go now or you lose. You have nothing else to do between now and New Year. You can't remember what you did on these days last year. That's how unimportant they are. If I said, what did you do on the 28th of December last year? You'd say, I don't even know. You wasted the whole day, you did nothing. Now you can finally take some action and get something done. I've been the guy who had it on the edge of annihilation, of his life falling apart, and he only pulled it off because he grit and bared pain and did whatever it took to win. I've never had it easy. I've never won easy. I've only ever did it the hard way. So it's all I can teach you. I don't know any easy way out. All I know is the hard way out. That's the only path. You're trapped in a forest, surrounded by bramble and ghouls which intend on taking your soul. And I am outside of the forest. And I am screaming to you saying, I know a way out. The path is long, it is dangerous, it is arduous. You may hurt yourself, you may get cut. It's difficult, but I can guarantee you it leads out. And perhaps there's another voice saying, I know an easy path and it just leads straight out and it's easy. If you believe them, try. But if it was true, if there was an easy path out, why are so many people still stuck? Why are so many people still trapped if there's an easy way out of this mess? Surely the fact that most people can't escape is testament to the fact that the only way out is hard. If it was easy to escape, no one would be f***ing trapped in there. I can't give you easy answers. I don't have them. I only have the hard answers. And the hard answer is for you to knuckle down, stop praying for an economic miracle, stop praying for a political miracle, stop praying for a miracle via digital currency, get your act together and start working all day, every day, until you finally have enough for you to no longer have to be forced to live an experience you don't enjoy anymore. Because that's all I did. So that's all I know.